You had your chance to get into Bitcoin 50x leverage at 99,000 when I called for it. You didn't listen. Maybe you'll listen to Arthur Hayes as he tells you that Bitcoin is going to hit 250,000 by the end of this year. So you don't have to take my word for it. All that and more on today's Sunday Fuel.
The year is 2020. As the old financial empires collapsed and crypto drowned in noise and false prophets, one man lost everything. And in that loss, he was called. Through the wreckage of his own failure and the precision of his charts, a higher force revealed what others could not see and entrusted him with a mission to guide others through the chaos he barely survived. They call him Sacred Prophet. And now, the revelation is yours to claim.
Welcome, everyone, to Sunday Fuel. I'm one of your hosts, Tom Hartman, your Sacred Prophet, joined as ever by Aaron in Training, Peter Hartman. Look, the world is on a knife's edge waiting for Bitcoin to blast off, not knowing if it's going to be soaring through all heights or being the man in the box. And I'm here to tell you the truth. In this episode, you're going to find out exactly what you can do to 4x your money. You have the balls or the slit in order to take the future in hand. Are you ready? Peter, how's your week been? How's your week been?
Okay,
what we call a tease. What we call a tease.
Right, it's a little more than a tease. That's just a tip. What's your question?
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I have injury here. You should see the other guy.
What did you do?
Don't ask questions, all right?
Are you Novocaine? Are you Novocaine?
I'm not on any Novocaine.
No, you know the movie Novocaine with Jack Quaid, the guy who can feel no pain. He meets this girl, falls in love or whatever. Girl gets kidnapped in a bank robbery, so he has to try to get her back. But he can feel no pain, so it's like a superpower. So he's able to do all kinds of things. Like he's just this mild-mannered guy who has to do all these kind of things. Knife through the hand, burning oil, all that stuff. And the bad guys don't know what to make of it because he gets shot in the leg and it just doesn't faze him. He'll punch broken glass. Glass will be in his fist and he could punch people in the face. And it's like...
Yeah, but that's a trick that lasts only so long. I mean, a broken leg is a broken leg.
Well, we had a great time watching Crank with Jason Statham. Where he had the drug that his heart had to pump in order for him to keep living. Great flick. And Crank 2, which is almost as good, but they couldn't really do a Crank 3. So Novocaine seems like a nice little... and it's Jack Quaid, the guy from The Boys. He's the tall, gangly guy from The Boys. So, you know, no spoilers for The Boys, but here he has the power. That's pretty interesting. Anyways, I thought that's what happened to you, but it turns out it's just some stupid thing. You probably typed too hard.
I feel pain.
You pressed the K. You press the K key too hard, and all of a sudden you heard your little thingy.
I've been typing like a maniac. Bitcoin's at 107.4, ready to blast off to 150 by tonight. In order for me to get my polymarket.
No, by tomorrow. We have until tomorrow night.
All right.
Right. And will it get there? A lot of people are wondering, will Bitcoin get to 150 by tomorrow so that the poly market bet pays off? 100%.
Hey, wait, how are you doing? I know you've been up late. You've even taken to napping so you can stay up later to code.
I mean, up late.
You're reaching your limits.
At first, I was like, well, first, because, you know, I got kids. So I was like, okay, let me take a little bit of a nap during the day and then stay up later at night. No one's sleeping. No one's bothering me. I'm a very lovable person. Everyone wants to talk to me. And they take turns. They round robin this guy. And I never get the peace that I need. But once everyone goes to bed, I get to stay up. And so I started to stay up till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I was like, this is great. Let me just sleep 2 hours over here and then I get an extra 4 or 5 hours. Now I'm up to 5:30 in the morning.
Not good. And Drew Huberman would say you are flirting with, not flirting, you're in danger zone.
No, it's great. What I do is I go to bed, I work, because I'm working on Sacred Profit, guys. We're making tools. We're creating indicators. all kinds of great stuff coming down the pike. I can't wait for you guys to see what we have. Actually, you don't have to wait that long. Just go to sacredprofit.com, register for free, and then you're going to be able to see all the interesting goodies that we have prepared there. But I'm too excited with Claude Code.
I know.
We're able to AI code.
I know.
But I thought it was like ubiquitous within the vibe coding sphere, or even just the coding sphere, that everyone was using Claude Code. It's like, okay, it's $100, $200 a month. You get this unlimited access to PhDs, and you're able to do things. I mean, a lot of us can't even do, or don't want to do on our own, or even if you can do it, it might take you 20 times longer than if you did the AI coding. And I thought everyone's using this.
Mm-hmm.
I go, every time I hear about a vibe coder or whatever, even just regular coders, 70% of the code on the internet is written, and GitHub is written by AI. I figured everyone's using Claude Code. Almost nobody.
It's crazy.
I think it's 1/100th of the people using Cursor use Claude Code.
And it's worse than that, Tom. From what I can tell, I don't know what the stats are, a surprising number of people who are using Claude Code are not using it in Cursor.
That's right.
They're using it just in the terminal.
Yeah. So it makes it sort of like people don't really necessarily understand all it can do.
Yeah, like I've heard people go, "Well, what's Claude Code? The UI isn't good," and
right, because it's in the terminal. Yeah.
You're like, "What? Are you new to the internet?"
It's also why I think we're getting it at. I mean, it's essentially free. $200 a month for Claude Code. I know sounds crazy. I don't pay anything that's $200 a month, like for a service or anything like that. I wouldn't even have thought about it before. But on Cursor, I was ready to pay $3,000 to $5,000 a month.
Right.
And
you were what? $100 a day?
At least $100 a day, and only because I had to stop myself. Now it's several $100s a day just with Claude Code, and I'm not even really pushing it as far as it can go. And so I'm building things that are just absolutely blowing my mind. Like, while I'm building things for Sacred Profit, while it's doing things, because I mean, I'll abuse Claude Code in such a way that it's running for 15 minutes at a time, like it's churning through whatever.
If Claude Code was an employee, they would have a case against you.
And so on somewhere else, I'm doing something else, and I'll be like, oh, let me just create this tool for myself just to make my life easier over here. This importer over here, the schedule over here. Just now, I was like, oh, let me just make a Chrome extension that allows me to bookmark my bookmark things in videos better, because I wanted a bookmark system that when you bookmark it, it knows the context, so it actually adjusts the bookmark back to the beginning of when that thing was being said, and then generates a title and summary of it automatically, and allows me to order my notes, and then also shows me my notes through all my videos. Like, I don't have any tool like this where I can annotate things in videos where it doesn't stop the flow of the video. It's automatically generating the stuff and keeping an idea. It has a transcript of the entire video, so it knows when it should actually jump in to put the note in. So I pressed it now, but it might have been like, oh, this is interesting, but really it's 3 minutes ago that this idea started.
Right.
And normally I'd have to pause and scrub all the way back and then click on it, and my video's paused, I lose the flow of it, and the whole thing. So I just made a Chrome extension that does this for me while I'm doing other things. Just let it build it out. Now that I have my whole workflow of how to do PRDs and how to do multiple agents, sub-agents, and all that sort of thing, just let it go on its own. And then it's spun it up. He's a hair master.
What I did, just a little thing like you did in order to make my life a little bit better. And I'm sure there's ways to do this with Automator and different tools, but I have Claude Code. And so I have a folder on my desktop. What I do is I download my deep research from OpenAI into a PDF or EPUB or whatever. I put it in that folder, and then it gets processed into an EPUB and sent to my Kindle email address. And then I get my deep research on my Kindle, which is a way better way. Sorry, you can't really see that. Way better way for me to be able to consume. I mean, you get pages and pages from OpenAI's deep research. Way better way for me to consume it. Such a pleasure. I used to run deep research on my computer, and I'd always scroll down to the conclusion, just read the conclusion and move on, because I was like, I don't want to
click the audio and just start talking to the AI and let it, hey,
because when I'm reading, I'm scanning, and I don't need to hear every single word of what's being said in this deep research. Tom, you can get 30 pages from deep
Right.
research. I'm not listening. I need to be able to skip. No, I get it. I need to be able to skip through. But reading it on my phone or on my computer, like it's just not. It's not a good place for me to read long text on my computer, and on my phone, it's just too small. It's too bright. My Kindle here, and I can just put it, and then I can put it there. Maybe I'm not ready to read it all now, or
This is Star Trek, by the way. That's your tricorder, and you have the computer
I
provide you
love
the
it.
research.
I love it. I actually I wasn't even using the Kindle because I went on to audiobooks and I was like, I'm not even using this Kindle for what I want to use it for. Oh, use it for deep research. And now I can put all this documents there. I can do a bunch of research. I have an idea. I can save it for later. And then I'm sitting on the back porch with the kid and just watching her playing in the kiddie pool. And now I can pull up my Kindle and have a nice reading experience as opposed to just reading on my phone. My phone's pretty big, but it's no Kindle. All that with Cloud Code.
Yeah. So most people aren't using it. It's also why I think they can charge basically nothing for it. I'm like, how could they be making money on it? Oh, okay, they're not making any money on it. They're Ubering us to get us to get used to it.
Okay, you said that. Go ahead.
Which means make the money now. Use the tools right now. It's sort of like I remember this interview with Jordan Peterson back in the day when ChatGPT, whatever, he saw some version, and he said the book that he wrote was better than any book that he could read, blah, 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 blah. Then we used it and it was like, this is not. Well, it's neutered. In the same way that when they put out the voice for ChatGPT, it was like speaking fast. It could do like accents. It could whistle. It could sing. It could do whatever. And then they nerfed that. So I think what we're getting is like Claude Unleashed, or whatever version this is unleashed, and later on it's gonna be gatekept. But until then, make your money, bruh. Make your money. And so
I don't think they're gonna be able to gatekeep it. The competitors are coming up real fast. The open source is surprisingly
Did you see
good.
the thing I sent you with the Gemini version of Google's Gemini version of Cloud Code?
The CLI.
How people are using the Cloud Code, they input Gemini within it, so that Cloud Code uses the 1 million token context window, because you only have 200,000 tokens on Claude. It uses 1 million. It lets Gemini do the analysis, spits out what the Gemini analyzes. Then Claude does to like upgrade.
Have you tried this?
No, it just seems like, okay, now we're just daisy chaining things that shouldn't be daisy chained. This is the beginning of Back to the Future. And he's like, oh, those are my clocks, Marty? Yeah. Oh my God, that means my experiment is right. What do you mean? It means the clocks are all 20 minutes behind. 20 minutes behind. I'm late for school. I don't
get how that connects.
Well, because the beginning of Back to the Future is a Rube Goldberg machine that feeds the dog, right? So the clocks turn on, and then the thing happens and makes toast and puts the dog food and sets up everything, and you're seeing the whole beginning of it. And then it ends with Marty coming in, and he's like, oh, these clocks are going off. And so I imagine if I daisy chain these AIs together, it'll work, but I'll be like, I'm not even sure what's happening here. This is a little bit too chaotic.
I get it now.
Yeah. Sometimes I get to hold a little baby bird's hand through just to make it through.
Well, you just be clear when you speak, and that way everybody can understand.
Well, what I do is I just like a bird, I'll eat, and then I'll vomit into your mouth, and you like gobble all up, and you get the nutrition. Great, nature,
Bitcoin, bro.
Well, I just want to finish off by saying that the reason with the AI stuff is that I want people to understand. You got to get crystal clear on this. That however you think you're obsessed about making money or creating tools or analyzing markets or whatever, unless you're doing what I'm doing and you're rotating your sleeps in order to create more tools and more understanding or whatever, it behooves you to like and subscribe to this channel and sign up for free to my services.
100%. 100%.
Because I'm not trying to make another RSI indicator for you. Okay, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create tools that will just blow your socks off, that'll allow you to surface information, that'll allow you to trade, to make money in ways that you're just not used to. I mean, you're going to be absolutely blown away by the things that Sacred Profit, what we're going to be outputting. It's totally different than anything you're used to. I'm not going to be giving you a bunch of data that you then have to go surf through and like figure out on your own. And I'm not going to give you tools that are just like, oh, you sit down, you press this button, and it's supposed to give you a buy and sell. I'm going to give you a merger of the two that makes you see the matrix, makes you see what's actually going on, and you're able to take trades that you find interesting. I know you guys are not all degens like me, where you want to go in 50x leverage trade on Bitcoin, or you want to do these home run trades on Polymarket. I know that's not what you're doing, right? I'm just doing this here in order to showcase the sort of things that I'm interested in. But I want to create tools that cater to every single trading style, every asset, every time horizon. Tom, are you talking about options on currency futures? Yeah. Are you talking about event-based trading using crypto in order to trade box office movies? Yes, absolutely. Are you looking for core? Because you can get what's going to be happening is this Cambrian explosion of the crypto spreading into every part of our lives, and you're going to be able to trade all these different things. You're going to be able to trade all these different assets, all kinds of different ways. You guys don't even know. You don't even realize just what's actually coming. And I'm preparing for that. I'm preparing for it so that you're not trying to figure out how to do, your technical analysis on trading social influencer tokens based on Mercury retrograde. I want you to be able to go inside of the library and like, I didn't even consider trading in this way. I didn't even realize this, all for free. Unbelievable. Because I firmly believe now I'm more convinced than ever before that everyone should trade. Mm-hmm. I think it should be like a class in school. You should trade in the same way that everyone should learn math. Now, if you might like geometry, someone likes trigonometry, someone else likes calculus. There's different flavors. Some people are theoretical, some people are practical, but you need to have an understanding in it to even know what you don't know. And the knowledge of trading is so useful. Just making decisions of what to do in your life, or what job you should have, or how do you plan for the future, or anything like that. That I think it should be a requirement. And two, there is a market for you. There is a market that you can trade, that if you were to trade it, you'd be like, I can't believe I'm making this much money doing this thing. I had no idea that I had a mind for this niche. I thought everything was about buying the S&P or trading bonds. I did not realize you can do these things. In the same way that someone goes, I did not realize that comic book trading could be my thing, or watch trading could be my thing. Or the example I always use now is the artisanal pencil sharpening. Where people
that was kind of crazy when you talked to me about that. That's pretty nuts.
Where you can make a living sharpening pencils. But to bring it back to the trading thing, for me, that's what Polymarket is like. Polymarket or Kalshi, that allows you to bet on events, allows me now to trade, not just bet on, but literally trade the charts of the probability of events that I'm interested in. So I get it. I don't want to trade a Circle stable coin on the stock market. I'm not interested in that, right? The Circle, the IPO of Circle is doing gangbusters, went up 200%. Fantastic. You make your money on there. You can buy the stock, you can buy options, you can put inside your 401k, whatever. Fantastic. A lot of people like that. I like betting on the Polymarket of, will there be an ETF or will there be will Kraken IPO in 2025? That's what I want to bet on. That's what I want to trade. That's what I find interesting. And I'm building all these tools in order to give you access to be able to trade markets you don't even know exist. God, I'm fantastic.
You underestimate my power.
No, amazing. I think you overestimate it.
I'm like amazing. All right, guys, let's get to the trades for last week.
Just before we do that, Tom, just center yourself.
Yeah, and I got to share my screen.
I do want to piggyback on what you're saying there. So Tom and I were also on Traders Post, the Traders Post YouTube channel, and there we have Mike Christensen, one of the founders of Traders Post, who does these interviews with traders. These are prop firm traders. The last crop have been prop firm traders. What's interesting is that they talk about finding the trade ideas that suit them. So one person, she says she only shorts. Another person is a scalper. And I didn't really realize that you had all these options for how to trade in the market, and it's up to you to find like what your brain is tuned for. And so your indicator suite is exciting because the more options you have available to you, the more you can find. Maybe there's a particular sliver for you that if you could see the market in this way and had indicators to help you in this way, you in particular would be successful in this type of trading where somebody else wouldn't.
Well, that's what I wanted to say. Like before, I thought it was maybe that's the case. Now I know it's the case.
Right.
Now my 16-year-old stepson, who's trading MicroStrategy on demo, is different than when my wife trades Uranus returns and retrogrades for different assets, and they both come up with trade ideas and executions that work for them. Meanwhile, I enjoy 50x leverage trades, and other people puke if they have to do this. So it's all different kinds. And Peter, well, Peter is like, he just, sorry, Peter's just a translator. Don't worry about it. Peter just.
You know what I've been working on? The high value trader philosophy, the principles and character traits of a high value trader. And I'm going to be sending that to you later today for your approval. I'm going to be creating some content around that. I think this is a contribution that I can make to the Sacred Profit environment. And it's crucial, I think, for traders to figure out how to think. You added an element in our previous show or the one before that. This, I call it right now, the working title is fourth dimensional mindset.
Right.
Which takes into account the multi-dimensional object that is the human experience, humanity, as perceived through the filter of the stock market, right? So the superorganism that's so complex that human beings can't hold in their mind casts a shadow that we can see in our dimension, the third dimension. And I can't wait for people to make this idea popular, because if you can start understanding what these markets are on a deeper level, I think you're going to develop an intuition about what work for you and what you care about and what you should pay attention to that will actually make you a more effective trader. Lots of exciting things to come. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, on that point. So if you just want an introduction to that sort of thing, you want to take a look at this book called Infinite Powers from Stephen Strogatz. Fantastic book. What you'll find is that that multidimensional thinking sounds kooky to people who don't think that way. But many market participants, this is how they think. Peter, if you want to share my screen here, just to give you an idea, this is what's called a volatility surface. Right. So when you're dealing with implied volatility, so this is the expectation of the price of an asset, right? So you're normally used to something like this, which is a chart showing you the price of an asset, the balance between buyers and sellers over time. That's what you see this chart as, right? This is using two vectors, two axes, right? And people who don't trade don't even think in this term. Right? They just think in terms of what Bitcoin today is trading at 107,000. They're not even thinking over time, what did it did, and are we moving up or down or bearish or whatever. So you already have an advantage if you're thinking this way above the regular person. Then when it comes to the volatility surface for, let's say, options traders, they're thinking of what is the distribution of prices in the probability space across the asset, across prices over time. And so they get this idea of the surface that if you were to skate down this on with a skateboard, you'd understand where you want to avoid and what you'd have to do and that sort of thing. You can understand this in a sort of a three-dimensional sense. But you can think even higher than that, right? you can think even higher than this level, where you could have multi-dimensional other dimensions of thought that come into play when it comes into these different assets. And there's going to be certain types of thinking, certain types of models you can have in your mind of what it is, that when it clicks in your head, you're like, oh, I got this. In the same way that Magnus Carlsen gets chess. And you're like, hey, how do you decide what move to go? He goes, I get a sense of what this is. This feels okay, and I could feel that over here, and it's wrong. And there's a bunch of things I've seen before, and I sort of remember. And they're like, what? What are you talking about? But he plays poker, and he's like, an okay poker player. Not the greatest of all time or whatever for chess. So you just find the game that works for you.
Find the game that works for you. Did you see Magnus got beat
by Gukesh?
Yeah, he did not take it well. He took it well. He was a sportsman, but he was very upset.
I know they say that's sportsman. That's sportsman for Magnus. That's not sportsman.
No, he got up. He shook the person's hand. He was like, "It's good." He didn't just flip.
Yeah, you see all the people who lose to Magnus. They don't do that.
The
way they lose is sportsman-like.
No, come on. He's at the top of the mountain. He got dethroned, so he's reacting that way. I thought it was pretty.
He reacts like this should not be.
How do you get to the top, Tom? You don't get to the top like, oh, everybody, let's go. You get to the top like, I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I'm going to get there.
You're absolutely right.
Everyone!
You got to beat everyone. You got to be better than everyone. I get that. I understand that.
That's right.
All right. The trades from week past. Peter, look. Last week and the week before that, I gave you guys entry of Bitcoin at 99,000. Some have been hailing this as a perfect entry. Some people have been praising me, going, unbelievable that you got literally the wick down to 99,000. Other people say that it's such a good call that I must have manipulated the price. That I'm one of those whales who went in with massive amounts of liquidity.
Yes, you and Michael Saylor.
Other people call me a charlatan, going, anyone who could call a price move so perfectly is obviously lying. Guys, the answer is way simpler than that.
Oh, is it?
You underestimate my power.
I communicate with the Lord of Liquidity. That's it. I have faith in the Holy Global Empire. I have faith in liquidity. And I just read what it says. And to you, it seems like fortune telling. But to me, it's just blonde, brunette, and redhead.
Of course. Of course. Yes. Don't worship you, I bet.
Yeah. So let's take a look at last week's. Let's take a look at last week's. All right. So last week, we had, did I mention here Bitcoin hit 99,000, just like I was talking about?
Yes, you did mention it.
Sorry, I'm not sure if I mentioned that. Which was, okay, it's interesting in and of itself. It's amazing. It's fantastic. It's everybody wants that. What's interesting, what's great is that these indicators that I'm using in order to determine this, they're all free. Did I mention that? They're all free on sacredprofit.com.
Yes. Sacredprofit.com. Go and get it. Get it.
Go register. You click. We're in beta right now, so forgive the jank. But
what are you doing right now? If you're not right now immediately going to sacredprofit.com and getting these free, amazing, premium, optimized indicators for Bitcoin and everything else, you're not a high-value trader. I guess you're not a high-value trader.
So we had the downtrend from the week prior, so not last week, but the week before that. And where did the price go? The price went to these two levels over here, this daily level and this weekly level. But you see how we missed this level over here, this daily level? That the price didn't actually go up over there? That meant that after we cleared the lower levels, the bias was towards the upside. So this already gave me a bunch of conviction that we could get in at 99. Now, I still had orders lower down at 92 and at 80. But as you can see by our seasonal waves, a bunch of these were already cleared. Let me make it clear over here. If I go over here to the daily, you'll see here that this level, at orders at this level at 99, orders at this level at 92, and orders at this level at 80, right? But you have to also take a look at the waves and the trend lines. So our wave indicator is showing us that this purple wave crossed above the 92 level, right? So it makes it less likely that we're going to fall down to that level.
Right.
Then we have the 3-month volume weighted average price that's also here, and then also trend line over here. So we have a bunch of support. There's tons of support here. So the chances that the price would fall here through here, I mean, Iran and America would have to, Israel and America would have to drop a nuke on Iran for us to get to that level, right? But the bunker busted bombs, that gets us to 99.
Jesus.
I don't tell you why. I just tell you what, when, how, who, and also sometimes why. So we get there at 99. We enter into the trade. If you got in a little bit too early, then you got liquidated, no problem. You get back in. When you're trading at 50x leverage, you get liquidated sometimes. And this move up to over here was an 8% move, which at 50x leverage is a 400% gain on the position.
Better than Circle.
You're getting it, Peter. You're getting it. Better than Circle. All right. All right. So then the question is, during that week, when we take a look at it, where did the price, after it bounced up from 99, where did it bounce? Right at the end of the week. You see this red line over here? Right at the end of the week, it bounced and moved up. And we're already prepared for that. Why, folks? Because the weekly level to pay attention to was 104. That means as soon as this cleared and the week started, the price should move up to 104. Okay, so this move over here should have been a no-brainer. All right, so if you're faithless, you should still have done this. But what did we say last week? Liquidity is still moving up and to the right. We take a look at global liquidity, we're still moving up and to the right. So no reason not to favor the long side. Really no reason not to. So what we have here is I did not close out my position when we got up to the weekly level. I just stayed in it. And especially since our green trend at the back over here, see our green, they started climbing up 1, 2, and 3. All right. So we get all the way up to our, I think I hope it's clear by now here. You see this consolidation of waves. You see these trend lines. These are all calling the price up, as well as this line is calling the price up too. We're going up. Guys, we're going up. That's what was going on last week. And we went up and up and up and up. Now, once we got over here, once we got above water, we got above the water over here, we then came, and often you'll hear me talk about this 300 candle, 1, 2, 3. And on the third one, this is where we came and retouched the daily level, right? We didn't do it over here. We didn't do it over here. We did it over here. Right? This is a 300 candle. Now here, this is the man in the box situation. Man in the box. Peter, when I say man in the box, do you know the scene of Prestige that I'm talking about? Spoilers for the Prestige.
Yes.
Yeah. You have the box selected, Peter, so it's red on the screen, just so you know.
Sorry about that.
So
it's only red for us, by the way, not for them.
Got it. So it is, if you don't know the Prestige, spoilers for the Prestige. Just give everyone a time to pause and go watch the Prestige. And then come back.
Yeah.
So the idea here is that it's a magician who uses a technology. He stands over a tank of water, and the idea he uses this technology to zap himself, and he zaps himself across the stage so that he appears on a stage somewhere else. But the way that works, that teleportation works, is that it makes a clone of him. It clones him when he gets zapped, and that clone drops into a tank of water hidden underneath the stage. And the whole idea is that he never knows every night that he's doing this trick if he's going to be the guy who gets zapped to the other side of the room and does the flourish, the Prestige, or if he's going to be the guy in the box drowning to death. And then you see that he's done this 100 times, that he had to just like kill himself again and 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 again. Anybody who knows me who knows this is exactly Tom's kind of thing. It's exactly my sort of thing, exactly my sort of dilemma. What happens here? Am I going to be the one that rises? I'm going to be one that falls. Now, I'm betting on the rise here for Bitcoin because liquidity is up and we have shorts that are starting to be liquidated because we were at, what was it, 12 or 14 billion shorts in general for Binance, OKX, and whatever, Bybit, whatever the other exchanges, and now we're at like 8 billion. So shorts are being liquidated. So we have the supportive flows up, but we still have 8 billion versus like 400 million long. So there's plenty of more tinder to bring us up. So my slant was always to the upside. Plus, if we take a look at, if we go back to the chart and take a look closer, we're going to zoom into this area. Just because we did the 3 hump, all that means is that we can rest, right? We could fall, but we could also go sideways. Because remember, corrections can happen in time as well as in price. You can have a correction in price. Oops. You can have a correction in price that happens, come down and then up. Or you can have a correction that happens over time, sideways, which I hate, but whatever, that's what it is. And so when we zoom in over here, after these 3, we have these yellow areas. Let me go to the 15 minutes so you can see it even clearer. Get yellow area that switched to red temporarily, then yellow, and now green, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is it any surprise here that it switched to green and then it bounced off our daily level and rose up? A bunch of people were surprised by this move. You know who wasn't? Sacred Prophet. That's right. That's right.
You underestimate my power.
Nobody underestimates your power, Tom.
Some people underestimate my power. This whole campaign's against me online.
Really? Nobody even knows who you are.
People don't want to know the time of their death. Okay, they don't like when people just tell the future. They chase us out. They burn us for being wizards.
Oh, we got someone in the chat here. Hey guys, how are you? This is from Michael Tsatsulis. How do you figure we are in a FOMO environment over the next weeks, months? First resistance is 114, 116.
Yeah, so we got resistance up there. So yeah, around all the way up to that level. We have a daily level here at 109 that we're going to be reaching. I think we're going to reach that, I think, by tomorrow. We'll see. I suspect by tomorrow. And then when we zoom out further, the next levels up will be over here at the top of the range would be 120. Yeah, 120. So anywhere in between the all-time highs, 112 and 120, we can definitely be in as of tomorrow or this week. So absolutely. The reason why, I mean, I brought this up last week. We had potentially what might have been the beginning of World War III, as far as anybody knew. And Bitcoin only fell to 99,000. All right? I don't know what more bullishness you need than that. Forget Bitcoin Conference 2025. Forget Michael Saylor's prediction of 13 million Bitcoin. Forget Anthony Popliano and every podcast he ever does. They thought World War III might be happening. And Bitcoin kind of fell. And then bounced back up. All right? We're hella bullish, folks. We're hella bullish. There's stealth QE happening right now. We don't have time to go into that today, but stealth QE is happening right now, where the central banks are pumping liquidity into the system in order to keep things going. Why? Because things are going badly. Things are going bad. But when do we make money? When things go badly. I don't know how to tell you this. There's no two ways about it. When things go well, your stocks go nowhere, your assets go nowhere, your bags don't get pumped. It's when things go badly. Remember the COVID. Remember the lockdowns.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour.
Nope. Wrong one.
Oh, it would have been good if you
remember the COVID. Remember the lockdowns.
If you didn't mess it up, yeah. Good question, Michael. Thank you for asking that. So how do we figure you are in a FOMO environment over the next few weeks, months. Okay, well, I guess because rocky roads ahead.
Well, this is what I'm enjoying. Actually, I like this cycle more than I enjoyed the last two cycles, because what we're not seeing is participation with the altcoins. Remember, last go around we had NFTs,
Yes.
long-lasting NFTs. The NFTs
I
be
never
praised and
understood
hailed.
it. Never understood it.
And we also had a bunch of meme coins, but before that we had the whole Ethereum, all the coins that were being pumped up everywhere there, right? The Safe Moons, actually no, Safe Moon was last time. We had a bunch of meme coins that were pumped up. Altcoins, sorry, not meme coins, altcoins. All the video game tokens, all the social tokens. You're talking about Rally, you're talking about Axis, you're talking about, you know, all these different things. They're gone. I don't even notice they're gone. NFTs, no one's really talking about them anymore. And you had at the beginning of this cycle, you had the whole pump.fun on Solana. Trump coin, Melania coin, all that sort of thing. But we're not really getting any euphoria now, right? We're not getting any euphoria.
We're mature now.
No, we're at the beginning.
Oh.
People think we're halfway through the cycle. We are not. We are at the beginning. People go, I guess maybe this time euphoria is not going to be there. Excuse me, have you been recently human? Excuse me, do you not know how people work? Are you crazy? Oh, people won't do the same thing this time. Excuse me, yes, they will. They absolutely will, right? So they are pumping money into the system. It's happening through repo. It's happening through SLR constraints changes. It's happening through secret $46 billion buyer of bonds. I wonder what happened. We had such a bad response to the bond auction, and the day after, $46 billion of bonds were purchased. The stock market is going to go up and to the right. It needs to go up and to the right. And if it costs the livelihood of every person who's not exposed to the markets, and they have to siphon out all life out of everything and exacerbate the difference between the rich and the poor until they're rioting in the streets, that's what's going to happen. We are not going down.
Okay.
The sacrifice of the poor will be remembered.
Oh my God. Oh, you're such a terrible person.
Okay, will we go down? There'll be a bear market, sure. But not before our socks get blown off, folks. Not before our socks get blown off. Okay, so sentiment online is massively negative. I mean, everywhere you look, it's doom porn everywhere about how the stock market is going to peak, right? This started before the stock market just got to all-time highs. Just so you know, 2 weeks ago, people were talking about how we're headed down to stock markets was off 50%. 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Trump tariffs, wars, or whatever, we're going down. We're at all-time highs. ATH, folks. All Tom Hartman. That's what we're at.
No, don't start that.
Let's just keep that in mind. The reason I keep pushing on this point is that I've lost so much money thinking that I'm going to call the top and things are going to roll over. Things are bad. Okay, I think they're going to roll over in 2 weeks. I'll give it 2 months. Then it takes 2 years for it to happen. And I'm right 2 years later. Don't be like me, folks. Don't be like old Tom. Before, Tom didn't have the eyes of the oracle. Now he does. Pour one out for the homies. Pour one out for the homies. So the only way we're going to go down is when everyone is in. Okay?
Okay.
That's the only time that's happening. We are still net short. Can I just repeat that? The Bitcoin market is moving up while everyone is net short. They're selling billions of dollars worth of the thing, and it's still going up, buddy. Okay, so once the shorts are done shorting, and then they get liquidated, then the longs will get in. We'll get a blow off top. We'll get to 150,000, 200,000, 50 Bitcoin. And what you're going to hear it here first, people. What they're going to say is, we didn't see this coming. Irrational markets, spirit animals. This is crazy, unbelievable. That's what they're going to say. And I want you to come back to this video and go, Tom was calling it every step of the way. Sorry. Sacred Prophet was calling it every step of the way. When I speak for the Lord of Liquidity, it's Sacred Prophet. When I make mistakes, I'm Tom Hartman. It's okay. I throw myself on the pyre.
I volunteer as tribute.
Okay.
I'll be the one. I'll be the one.
Have we wrapped up the previous week?
No, one last thing for the previous week. All right. So the week is ending now. We had the 3 greens, yellow, dip in the reds, and now green again. Okay? So the bias is to the upside. That's what we saw that's what our last week is telling us. The bias is for the upside. I was hoping maybe we might get a pullback to 105.5 or even down to here, the daily level at 102.4. Doesn't look like it's happening. You can tell because of you see all these wicks here from the week pass? It means that we're in this tight range where we're consolidating sideways, and it's super, 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 super tight. This range for Bitcoin is what? This is this has been a 2% range. It was just so tight. So this is a coiling, and you see how this yellow line is coming up above here. Mm-hmm. This is signaling that what we've seen for the past week is a preparation for an explosion. All right, so let's talk about next week coming up. A bunch of things are happening for next week. One, I think we might get a pullback here into the weekend over here. We'll see what happens over there. In fact, you guys will remember that the first day of the week, generally speaking, the price moves opposite to where we'll go the week after for the week, right? Not all the time, but often. So if we take a look at the past over here, we had last week the price fell down over here and then went up. Whereas over here, the price over here went up and then down. The week before, we went up and then down. Okay? Doesn't happen all the time. It happens pretty often. I should do the calculations to see how often that happens, but it happens pretty often. So whatever move happens this week, we want to fade for the first day. Chances are you want to fade it. So that means there's a potential, if I'm bullish, for the price to pull back down to here. For the price to pull back down to 105.3. Okay? For the first day, for Monday. Totally possible. And then from there, skyrocket up. In just enough time in order to make my poly market bet not worthwhile. But that would be the bullish scenario. Like a really strong bullish scenario. By the way, I should mention, if that happens and we get a pullback and the market opens up on poly market for betting on 150,000 Bitcoin in July, buy it with both fists.
Not financial advice. Do your own research.
No, I am your research. I'm going to be buying it. If we get a pullback on Monday, I swear to God, if you guys tell me that I did not tell you this, I'm making it very clear, okay? If we get a pullback to, what is it? 105.3.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious shit.
If we get a pullback to 105.3, let's call it 105.5, just to be safe. 105.5. Buy, because the expectation is that afterwards we're going to get a rip that's going to be like unlike any of the rest we've seen so far. I think we skyrocket. I think you make 4x easy on your 50x position, and you can hold that until Let's call it September, October. Do it. Okay?
Not financial
Peter,
advice.
If they say I didn't say it, if they say I didn't say it, you tell them. You tell them, Aaron.
The views of Tom Hartman do not necessarily reflect the views of Sacred Prophet. Not financial advice. Do your own research.
Has incurred the sentence of excommunication.
Look, it's not.
They do reflect the opinion of the Lord of Liquidity.
Sure, but the Lord,
to gainsay the Lord.
You can't sue the Lord of Liquidity.
All right. Here's another thing that's happening. OPEX is happening 4 times during the year. Periods of weaknesses. Right? March, June, September, December. 4 periods of weaknesses. OPEX. That's happening this week. Okay? That means there could be some volatility that happens, which also lends to the idea that we might get a pullback. Right? So all these pullbacks would be great if we get this pullback. After that, after the 3 months, so as of July 1st, regardless, I think we get a rocket up. I think we get something akin to over here. So let's just pay attention. Actually, let me just hide everything else so you can see it. Let's hide you and let's hide you. So we're just going to show the 3 month. Let's hide the drawings and hide wave. No, leave wave. Okay. So these yellow lines are the 3 month, the quarterly ends, right? So what do you notice after this quarterly end? A drastic move. Here, drastic move. Here, drastic move. Here, sideways. Sideways, sideways. Drastic moves. So I'm not saying that it always has, that the direction can be discerned, but what it usually means is that for now, that 3 month period, the trend will be set, right? Now you can still get these dips before it happens, right? And you can still have these volatility that happens within it. But generally speaking, the trend will be set after, let's say, the first month, and then that's what we'll be seeing. All right. So because we rose up and then consolidated sideways, I'm expecting this to be a rise up, because this is a classic pattern. This is a classic pattern, right? Here we had to fake out for the breakdown, and then we move up. It happens fairly often. So you have this, then you go sideways, then you move up. So that's what I think is about to happen. We're going to get an explosion up, and it will coincide with the beginning of July. Okay? All right, baby bird? Did I put enough information inside of your little bellies?
Yeah, I think so. So you've told us what the upcoming week's trade is. Is that all buttoned up?
The only other thing I would add is that the weekly level that we're likely to see for the target price will be, let me pull this up. I shouldn't even have to do this anymore. You guys should just go get the indicator. They're free. Just go to sacredprofit.com, get the indicator. You can read all this for yourself. So the weekly level is going to be, 105.5. That's what I was talking about. The pullback to 105.5, which would be it would coincide with the weekly. It would coincide with the daily level. It would coincide with the monthly wave. It would coincide with the trend line. I don't know what else you need for that to be bullish, okay? But that's hella bullish. We're not going below 105.5. I'm sorry. I'm saying it right now. We're not going. Okay? If we get there, that we'd be lucky. We could just as easily explode from over here. So I hope we get there in the first day tomorrow, and that we blast off as of tomorrow night or Tuesday. And after that, I think it's all she wrote. We're headed to blue skies, folks. And if you're not along for the ride,
Has incurred the sentence of excommunication.
Then get out of here. I don't need you. I'm giving you the information. I'm giving you the free indicators. I'm telling you how to mitigate your risk. I'm telling you how to prepare yourself for the future, because if you think you're going to work your 9-to-5 job into riches or safety, you are not. The only way to salvation is through me
Oh God.
and other people like me who are paths to the Lord of liquidity. I'm not the only one. I'm just one of the best.
You underestimate my power!
We have Michael in the chat. By the way, he said a good answer to his question. Next question. When is the end of the stealth QE?
When there's no end to stealth QE. Okay, there's not going to be any end to stealth QE. It'll have to be stealth QE has to first turn into. If you mean if it turns into real QE, like now they're just saying QE. Oh, October. Around October is going to be the earliest time you can. And if it doesn't happen in October, it'll be March of next year. But like stealth is going to be done eventually once the bad news happens and we notice problems with the financial system, some sort of crisis, asteroid comes to Earth, whatever it is. I don't know what I can't tell you why it'll happen. I can only tell you what, when, how, and who. And so stealth QE will end. But if you're like, they're going to stop the liquidity injections, not anytime soon, folks. You guys have met Donald Trump, yes? Just in case, like we've met Donald Trump.
Liquidity injections will continue until morale improves.
I mean, he's talking about maybe I should be Fed chair.
I love this guy. I love Donald Trump. I'm saying it. I love Donald. Where's my red hat? I don't own a red hat. Where's my red hat?
That's why, Peter.
You don't have any friends.
Nobody likes you. It's not Donald Trump that I love. I love the head of the Holy Global Empire, and whoever that's going to be, let it be. Because if it was Kamala Harris, she would be doing the same thing as well. In fact, she wouldn't even be subtle about it. She'd be like, "Oh, we need more black people in that thing. We need to print money." Fine. I don't care. People think that I'm heartless. Okay, I've had this accusation, Tom. You have fascistic tendencies. Someone said this to me the other day. They're like, you're fine with corporations being in bed with the government in order to siphon money from the poor to the rich. It is what's happening.
It's descriptive, not prescriptive.
Exactly. It is what's happening. If your recommendation is that I stay poor, thank you. Bye. That's not going to happen. All right, it is what's happening. It's like someone who lives inside of a place with winter, and they're like, "I'm saying snow's going to come," and they're like, "Oh, Tom, you're in bed with seasons, nature.
You hate summer."
Look, that's just what it is. Now, if you're saying, Tom, you can be out there affecting change, I go, okay, I hear you. I hear that. I could be doing that. I could. I'm not. I won't. And I could be doing it. That I understand. I get it. The thing is, here's the thing. Okay?
God.
I'm just trying to.
By the way, this is on the internet forever, just so you know.
I speak for the Lord of liquidity.
Whatever you're about to say.
What it comes. Here's the thing. If you change the rules of the game to make it more fair or whatever, then you gotta learn new rules. It takes about 20 to 80 years to learn new rules. I got gray hair. I don't got 80 years to wait. All right, so that's a young person's game. You go ahead and do that. The freedom and of America is it needs to be watered with the blood of blah 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 whatever. But they're all people younger than me, so that's just what it is. And I'm not looking to get. I got my family to take care of. I got Xboxes to buy.
Nintendo Switch.
To take. Nintendo Switches to go on. So it's not that I'm heartless. I just don't care.
Oh, should have ended the stream about.
Well, it's more like ago. I was invited to a board game, and they're like, "This is what we're going to play," and I go, "Well, then I'll We're playing Monopoly. It's like, I prefer we play, I don't know, what's some
Settlers of Catan?
No, some cooperative game. Let's play Pandemic. I don't know, some cooperative game. I'd like to play that, but they're playing Monopoly. So to win Monopoly, you got to steal from the bank, and you got to make your little sister cry. That's just what Monopoly is. And if you set up a different game, invite me to the game, I'll play that game. And until that happens, I'm going to play Monopoly. I don't like losing.
Well, I appreciate something. Your honesty.
I'm not a fascist. I'm not a fascist.
You know you're winning in life.
I'm not a fascist.
Yeah,
I'm not a fascist.
Say it like yes.
I'm against fascism.
Are you though?
I'm pro knowing what the rules are.
Gotcha.
If someone's playing the game of fascism, I'll play. Deal me in. Deal me in. I don't like it. I don't want it to happen.
Right.
But I'm going to be playing fascism. What, I'm not going to play fascism? I'll play a little fascism. I'll play a couple of hands of fascism. You can clean this up with AI afterwards.
Yeah,
right?
I can't clean this. This is uneditable.
Let's just cut this out. All right. I did want to go through an Arthur Hayes video, but I think we'll save that for Revelations this week because we've just been pushing the envelope. Plus, I don't know that Arthur Hayes wants to be associated with.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know that I want to be associated with this. How did I get roped into this?
Aaron, just press the buttons. Just press the buttons. All right. Well, that's it for me. Is there anything else you want to cover here, Peter, before we get back to our AI Sacred Profit Life?
Any news about Cardano at midnight?
Yes. Well, this is why I want to do the Arthur Hayes thing. We
can save it. We can save it for Revelations if you want.
Yeah, because I think the tease here is that I think that the drop of the midnight token launches the altcoin season.
That's what I've been thinking. Yeah, because midnight is not just about Cardano, people. It's about the whole ecosystem. Finally, Cardano is doing what I've been wanting them to do for years, which is to benefit all the other coins, like benefit the ecosystem. It's not just about Cardano. So much hate about Cardano. If they come out and they provide this midnight token, which provides privacy on the blockchain, privacy for coins, then that opens up
all chains.
For all chains.
Well,
then,
all chains out there that tie into midnight, yeah.
And it's a huge benefit. How does the hate for Cardano continue? How does it continue when it benefits everyone? I don't see it.
The VCs in the crypto space, and we even saw some of this inside of at Consensus 2025. There's not a bunch of meme projects to invest in. Arthur Hayes actually makes this point. God, I should play it later on. Arthur Hayes makes this point where they grew in the last cycle 5, 10x or whatever. Their market cap is so high. The idea that they can quadruple from there again is not high. The assets are still so high. The value of them, the idea that they're going to get a lot more people into Solana, a lot more people into it's not exactly a surefire bet. So why put billions of dollars behind it? Cardano never had that. Cardano never had a hype cycle.
That's right.
Then with the advent of Bitcoin coming to the Cardano platform, now you have the ability for smart contract layer on Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin becomes part of the assets within the Cardano ecospace. You don't have to leave. You don't have to give up your keys for Bitcoin. There's none of this wrapping your Bitcoin and wrapped Bitcoin or whatever. And you're like, oh, I'm Bitcoin. It's just as good as Bitcoin. No, you get to keep your Bitcoin. And then on top of that, with the midnight, if the smart contract layer of, let's say, Ethereum provided an ambient explosion of the types of assets that could be created in the crypto space versus just Bitcoin. And then what can happen now is that privacy will open up all the private apps that you can have onto the platform, and you're able to pay in your native token. You never actually have to use a Cardano coin, even though that's being used inside of the backend. So if you're looking to spend billions of dollars into a thing, and then this thing is airdropped to everyone, no one has to, like, the token and night token is airdropped to everybody. They can already participate. If they don't participate, they lose the money for that asset. If they do participate, hey, who knows what happens? All of a sudden now, in an environment where you're not getting a bunch of hype, a bunch of altcoins, all of a sudden now new projects can happen, or existing projects can retrofit in order to use this sort of thing, and it brings Bitcoin in. It could be this exactly the mix necessary in order to explode a new type of participation on the network, with privacy being there. Just look at what's going on with AI, right? The problem with AI is not being able to have a privacy layer on it, right? AI, what we have right now, is the same sort of thing as Ethereum back in the day. It's like the smart contract layer over the knowledge of the internet, but we don't have the privacy layer. But once you have the privacy layer, the things we'll be able to do are even more incredible. And so Midnight is like that version of it. It's like the next step, which is why I think Charles calls it the third or fourth generation in cryptocurrencies.
Is there anything in your charts or your indicators that hint towards something with Cardano?
That's a good question. I could look right now. Let's see. Let's take a look at the weekly. Oh God, this is bullish as hell. This is bullish. Let's take a look at a longer time frame. Oh, there's no volume on this one. 1 second. Yeah, that is bullish. We're at the low of the channel, right? So we have here, this actually should be a curve. So we can absolutely move up to the next level up here is 182 on Cardano, which can happen, I guess, by 2026.
What did you just say? What did you say? 182?
180, yeah, 186. Let's call it 186. Yeah.
And you said by when?
I mean, the last move that went from Cardano 34 cents to 132 happened within 5 days. The previous move that went from 23 cents up to 80 cents happened in 20 days. So I guess between 5 and 20 days. It can explode. Well, you see here how the explosions here happen around the same thing we talked about before, where the 3-month levels, the yellow bars. So let me just change that so you can see it. All right, so you see these yellow bars here. So we get to move up from yellow bar to yellow bar, sideways for the other bar, down here, and this other yellow bar move up. So it would happen around, if it's going to happen at all around July 1st. Should get a move up. Beautiful. And it could be a drastic move up.
I think that's around the time we're expecting the midnight drop.
Well, the tokenomics dropped already. It's already been clear what's going on there. There's a whole thing about, debate whether centralized exchanges are going to be getting midnight token, and if they're going to distribute it to people. It looks like they are going to get the midnight token. So that means Gemini and Coinbase and exchanges or whatever who are holding ADA in custody are going to get your midnight. If you have,
I never thought about what you said, where all these people are going to be getting midnight, and so they're incentivized to use it.
Yeah, if they don't, like the danger of when you're getting an airdrop is this fake? Am I getting dusted or whatever? But this is publicly announced. People are going to be able to verify this is midnight token is something. It's immediately going to be tradable. right? So let's say it's tradable at 0.01 cent. That's still more than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have an incentive to sell it, right? So some people are going to make money on the midnight token, and then so that means some people will hold it, and then if it goes up, then there'll be some market there. Then if it actually works the way that they say it's going to work, the midnight token, there's no bugs or whatever, it's secure the way that everything in Cardano has been. Cardano's never gone down, never had a hack of the blockchain ever. Then this opens up trust, right? That the very thing that made Cardano too nerdy is the very trust people will be able to have to use a midnight token. Plus, it's not like Monero or whatever. They're not trying to be anti-holy global empire. The whole idea is that the midnight token is compatible with existing systems. So the government could get their grubby hands inside of it, which is fine. Sorry, the government's hands are not grubby. The hands are the holy global empire. You're clean and pure, and we love you, and all hail holy global empire. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I'll play fascism.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. A couple of hands of fascism. So anyways, the cards are really set for this to explode. We don't have a lot of distractions in the space right now. So who knows what happens there. So I think it all coincides. It's divine providence. It's going to happen right around now, exactly when Uranus is moving into the 9th house, I believe.
Bazinga.
Change in institutions.
This fourth turning has been exciting.
It's not a snoozer, I'll tell you that.
That's right.
It's made my 20s seem like peaceful.
That's right. Remember when the sky was falling when George W. Bush was running for a second election?
Correct.
You had Patton Oswalt and people like that. He doesn't want to be president. He wants to be the last president. And they were like, this is the Antichrist ushering in the new. Now it's like,
well, between 2000 and 2020, my life was defined by the women who broke my heart. From 2020 till now, I got married. That's still not the defining factor of what happened over the last few years. It's not even the most interesting that happened. I love you, Melissa. I'm not trying to say anything against you. I'm just playing a couple of hands of fascism here. All right. That's it. I gave you guys the prices to get in at. You can make tons of money. You don't want to do it. Don't know what to tell you. Go to sacredprofit.com if you want to be one of the acolytes. Go ahead and join. If you're really good, you'll be one of my disciples. But that's not going to be free. But until then, I want to wish you guys a great week. Watch out for the pullback on Monday. We're going up, baby.
Where the river flows free. I only carry the flag.
Wonderful time. All right, guys. Have a great week.
I'm Tom Hartman, and I built this signal group because I know what it's like to trade in the dark. Second guessing every move, chasing unreliable calls, getting burned by noise. I wanted something better, so I created it. What I offer here are advanced signals backed by premium indicators I've crafted from years of hands-on experience. These aren't cookie-cutter tools. They're grounded in multi-time frame logic tuned for cross-asset trading and built to handle real-world conditions, not just backtests. But here's where it gets serious. The system is designed to handle up to 50x leverage. Yeah, 50x. That's not common, and honestly, it's not for everyone. But if you know what you're doing, it gives you power most traders only dream of. It's predictive, reliable, and completely free. No catch, no upsell. I'm not here to sell hype. I'm here to give serious traders something they can actually use. This is the system I wish I had starting out. Now it's yours.